We have been discussing about developing methods for genetic monitoring. I'm very happy that we reached this level. This is the beginning of the end of an effort that has started many years ago to identify the need to study the genetic resources of forestry species, to find and decide about units of conservation, which now are well underway all over Europe. And now we're getting to the stage of deciding how to monitor these units on a regular basis. So it has been a very productive meeting, very lively. Of course, we are entering in a way it's uncharted territory here because this is an effort that has not been attempted before in a large scale to this particular level of conservation units in situ in the field. So we are very much enthusiastic about this challenge that we have. I would like to say that this is a very good opportunity for the forest sector and the scientific part of the forest related to genetic resources to come forward, because such efforts are not important only for forest trees, they are important also for all sorts of life forms that may be endangered or they have to be monitored for future changes. It's also very important because it shows to everybody that we have learned from things that were not well anticipated in the past. Half a century or even more than that before, agriculture started to expand. We had all these wonderful varieties and clones to work with, but natural populations in the process were neglected in the sense that they were used for cultivation, which has led to an obvious depletion of genetic resources. Of course, it's very easy to come after half a century and say, well, you know, this so-and-so has been neglected in the past. And of course, there was no previous example of management of the genetic resource at the world scale. There has been also the pressure for food all over the world, which was growing all the time. It happened too fast at a large scale level. We cannot blame them, but they will blame us, and they will blame us if we don't do anything, because now we have this paradigm. We have several examples from what happened in agriculture. This, of course, it's very hard now to tackle. There's a very big challenge what is happening with the genetic resource of cropland species. But in the case of forestry, I think that now we are at the level of introducing monitoring approaches that will help us to monitor the status of our genetic resources. And lessons that we have learned from the past, we can now use them to protect and conserve the genetic heritage of the forestry species. Well, I think in our case is the whole of European forestry. So it's important for state agencies to implement in the future monitoring approaches. It's important for the forest industry because I think that the breadth and wealth of forest genetic resources has to do with future breeding, with adaptation to climatic change, breeding for producing better and higher quality products from the forest, not only wood but also other products from the forest. It's interesting also for the private sector because it shows that the European countries have a mandate of clearly preserving and protecting their resources, and monitoring is one of the best ways that you can maybe foresee or have some sort of prognosis on how these populations are evolving, what's the level of their genetic variability, and this would be very helpful, especially in times of change. I would like to say that I feel that our group is privileged because we're entering in this debate, we are entering in this implementation of monitoring at this very interesting time. So I think that we're privileged to be here, and it's our duty to give the best that we can to make this move further.